Hi friends, welcome to Sri IT Hub. In this video of Core Java Programming, we are going to discuss the following topic: Runnable Interface in Java multi-threading concept. So let us start with, first of all, what is multi-threading? So multi means many, two or more. So more than one is called as multi-threading. So threading means small logics or codings used in a Java program, and this small logics or codings in a Java program are mainly done using methods, because method is a block of code which is used to perform specific task in our program. So coming to the definition of multi-threading. So the definition goes like this: executing two or more small logics or codings parallelly in a same program along with main method is called as multi-threading. So whenever we run the program execution starts with main method. Line by line execution takes place till the end of the main method. So along with main method, if we want to execute other methods, or if you want to perform other task or work, then we have to go for the concept of multi-threading. So the main advantage of multi-threading is we can execute multiple tasks or work parallelly in a same program. So this is multitasking in same program, known as multi-threading. So now coming to the concept of runnable interface. So how this runnable interface is useful in the concept of multi-threading to perform multitasking, right? So basically we use thread class to perform multi-threading, right? So there is one situation where we cannot use thread class to perform multi-threading, and that situation is multiple inheritance in Java. So in multiple inheritance in Java, we cannot perform multi-threading. So the point goes like this: in multiple inheritance of Java, we cannot perform multi-threading using thread class. For example, let us say that we have class A and then thread class. So for class A and thread class, what should be the subclass? So it goes like this: class B extends A comma thread. So we cannot extend more than one class in Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible for subclasses with multiple classes. Okay, so here, so this is not possible. So here multiple inheritance is not possible with class A and thread class for subclass B. So in subclasses, we cannot perform multi-threading using multiple inheritance. So it's very simple. In subclasses, we cannot perform multi-threading using thread class and multiple inheritance, because multiple inheritance is not possible in Java with multiple classes. So in this situation, we use runnable interface. So hence the node point goes like this. In situations of subclasses to perform multi-threading, we use runnable interface. Okay, so it is not a class, it is a interface. Thread is a class, runnable is a interface. So we use runnable interface to perform multiple inheritance. So how to do this? Okay, this example goes like this. So it's very simple. Let us take the same situation or scenario. So class A is the base class, and then interface runnable. I means interface. So class B extends A, and we have to say implements runnable. Right, so this is possible in Java. Multiple inheritance in Java using runnable interface to perform multi-threading concept in subclasses. So what is the speciality of runnable interface? The speciality of runnable interface. So first of all, it is a base class for thread class. Okay, so it is a base class or interface, base interface for thread class. So the example goes like this. So runnable is an interface, and for this thread class is a subclass. So we can verify this. Java p hyphen p java.lang.thread, and also java.lang.runnable. So let us issue this command in the command prompt. Open the command prompt. So here runnable interface is the base class or base interface for thread class. So let us verify this by issuing the command java p hyphen p java.lang.thread and java p hyphen p java.lang.runnable interface. Okay, so both thread class and runnable interface are in java.lang package. Right, so let us issue this command. Open the command prompt, go to your working directory. So java p hyphen p java.lang.thread. Right, so here if we see this description of the thread class, so thread class is inherited from implements runnable interface. So runnable interface is the base class or base interface. Interface is also a pure abstract class for our thread class. So now what is the speciality of runnable interface? Issue the command java p hyphen p java.lang.runnable interface. Right, so if you see here, runnable interface contains only run method. It is one abstract method. So this method is redefined in thread class, and from thread class we are overriding in our subclass. So now we are going to redefine this run method by implementing the runnable interface. Right, so what are the steps which are required to perform multi-threading using runnable interface? So here we have to understand one important point before we start with the steps. So runnable interface has only one abstract method, and that is public void run method. So we have to redefine this in our subclass. It's a public abstract run method. Right. So now coming to the steps to perform multi-threading using Runnable-Interface. So step 1, inherit your class from Runnable-Interface. Example, something like class myThread implements, because it is an interface, Runnable-Interface. So this is step 1. Next, step 2. So in step 2, we have to redefine abstract run method in our subclass. Example goes like this. So class myThread implements Runnable-Interface, public void run. So when we redefine this method, okay, our subclass becomes complete class now. It becomes complete class. Now we can create an object of our myThread subclass. So step 3, now create an object of your subclass. So what is our subclass here? myThread. So example goes like this. myThread t1 is equals to new myThread. Right. Step 4. Now step 4 is important for us here. So in step 4, we can't start the thread directly because in Runnable-Interface we don't have start method. We have only run method, which is redefined in our class. Okay. So in step 4, here we cannot start run method directly because in Runnable-Interface we have only run method. So we don't have start method. So that is, start method is not there. So for this we are going to take one extra step. It goes like this. So what we'll do is we'll create an object of thread class. Create an object of thread class and pass our thread class object as parameter to thread class constructor. So for the thread class constructor, we are going to pass our thread class object as parameter. Example, create an object of thread class tt1 is equals to new thread class constructor, and for this we are going to pass t1 as parameter. So now our t1 will become full-fledged thread. Okay. Hence our t1 object becomes full-fledged thread. It will become a full-fledged thread or complete thread. So now finally step 5. So now call start method on tt1 thread object. So example goes like this, tt1 dot start. Right, so we can say tt1 dot start. Now we can execute the run method. So here it calls run method of myThread class. So this is one extra step where we have to create the object of original thread class and pass our thread object, which is inherited from Runnable-Interface as a parameter, then our thread will become complete thread, and then we can call the start method. So here we have a constructor which accepts Runnable-Interface object as parameter in thread class. So we can verify that using java p -p java.lang.thread. So issue this command in the command prompt. So open the command prompt and issue this command. And if we see the description of the thread class, here we have one constructor, thread class constructor, public thread class constructor, which accepts Runnable-Interface as parameter. So our class, so what is our class here? My thread. So my thread class is inherited from Runnable-Interface. So we can pass our thread class object T1 as a parameter to thread class. As a parameter to thread class, we can pass it as a parameter. So this is how Runnable-Interface subclass object becomes full-fledged thread or complete thread, and we can use all the methods from thread class. Right. So hence here in step 4 we can use all the methods of thread class. Right. So let us try to implement this in the form of a small program. So the program name will be Runnable-Interface threads example 1.java. So let us take a new page. First we'll write the comments. Program to demo Runnable-Interface in multi-threading. So class Runnable-Interface threads example 1. So main class with main method. So let us save this program in our working directory. Right. So save the program as Runnable-Interface threads example 1.java. Right. So let us try to follow the 5 steps which are used to perform multi-threading using Runnable-Interface, wherein subclasses can perform multi-threading using multiple inheritance with Runnable-Interface. So first we'll take a class, something like my thread implements Runnable-Interface. Right, so this is step 1. Step 2, we'll redefine the run method. So public void run, and then we'll take here something like while true, some infinite loop. In the infinite loop, we are going to print the name of the thread which is currently executing the run. So here, for printing the name of the thread, we have to use get name. But get name method is not available in Runnable-Interface. It is available in thread class. So from thread class, I'm going to use current thread method. So thread dot current thread method dot get. So thread dot current thread method, which is a static method, we can access directly with thread class. So thread dot current thread will give the current thread object reference. So current thread object reference dot get. So we'll print current thread object reference dot get. So next, let us go to step 3. We'll create an object of our myThread class. T1 is equals to new myThread, and then followed by one more thread object T2 myThread. T2 is equals to new myThread. So we can't start the threads T1 and T2 directly because we don't have start method in Runnable-Interface. So hence one extra step, we have to create an object of original thread class. tt1 is equals to new thread, and for this constructor we have to pass our Runnable-Interface subclass thread object as parameter. Similarly, we'll take one more thread object, something like tt2. New thread, pass t2 as parameter. Now tt1 and tt2 becomes full-fledged thread. tt1 dot set name, we'll take it as something like hello thread. Then tt2 dot set name, we'll take it as welcome thread. So before welcome thread, we'll use 3 tab spaces so that these will be printed on the right side of your display, output screen or console. And then finally we'll start the threads, tt1 dot start and tt2 dot start. So our thread class object t1 and t2 are passed as a parameter to thread class constructor. So tt1 and tt2 will become full-fledged thread, and we can use all the methods of thread class like set name, get name, set priority, get priority, and we can also use start method. So save this, open the command prompt, right, go to your working directory and compile the program Runnable-Interface threads example1.java. Right, so compile it. No error, and run it. Java Runnable-Interface threads example 1. So if we see here, both the threads are getting into infinite loop inside the run method and printing their names, hello thread and welcome thread. So here both the threads have the same priority. Default priority is norm priority. So both the threads will be given equal chance for execution, hello thread and welcome thread. So this is inside the infinite loop. So to come out of the infinite loop, we use Control C. Right. So this is how we are supposed to work with Runnable-Interface to perform Java multi-threading in situations where we already have inheritance, base class and subclass. So in that subclass, we can't use thread class to perform multi-threading in multiple inheritance. So the alternate solution is use Runnable-Interface to perform multi-threading in subclass using multiple inheritance. Thank you for watching this video. Do like, comment and share this video, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel Sri Sai IT Hub. Have a nice day.